The Goatman is a creepy and sinister figure that has been seen in various parts of the world. The creature is said to be part goat, part human, and it is known for its terrifying appearance and vicious behavior. There have been numerous sightings of the Goatman over the years, and many people claim to have had terrifying encounters with this mysterious creature. The first sighting of the Goatman that gained widespread attention occurred in the early 1900s in the woods of Maryland. A group of campers had set up camp in the woods, and they were enjoying a peaceful evening around the campfire. Suddenly, they heard strange noises coming from the woods, and they saw a figure lurking in the shadows. As they watched in horror, the figure emerged from the trees and came into the light of the fire. The creature was tall and muscular, with the body of a man and the head of a goat. It had glowing red eyes and long, sharp horns protruding from its forehead. The campers were paralyzed with fear as the Goatman approached their campsite. The creature let out a blood-curdling scream, and the campers ran for their lives. They could hear the Goatman chasing after them, its hooves pounding on the ground as it closed in. Miraculously, the campers were able to outrun the Goatman and escape into the safety of their car. They drove away from the woods as fast as they could, never looking back. The sighting of the Goatman in Maryland was just the first of many. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of the creature being seen in other parts of the world. Some people believe that the Goatman is a supernatural entity, while others think that it is a genetic mutation or a product of genetic experimentation. Despite the many theories about the origin of the Goatman, one thing is certain: it is a terrifying and dangerous creature that should be avoided at all costs. The next sighting of the Goatman occurred several decades later, in the dense forests of Louisiana. A group of hikers had set out on a weekend trip, hoping to explore the natural beauty of the region. As they made their way deeper into the woods, they began to notice strange occurrences. At first, it was just small things, like rustling in the bushes or a sudden gust of wind. But as the day wore on, the hikers began to feel like they were being watched. They couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just beyond the trees, watching their every move. As night fell, the hikers set up camp in a small clearing. They built a fire and settled in for the night, hoping to get some rest before continuing their journey the next day. But their peace was short-lived. In the middle of the night, the hikers were awakened by the sound of something moving through the woods. They heard heavy breathing and the unmistakable sound of hooves on the ground. They quickly realized that they were not alone. As they peered into the darkness, they caught a glimpse of the Goatman. The creature was standing just beyond the trees, staring at them with its glowing red eyes. The hikers were paralyzed with fear as the Goatman let out a blood-curdling scream. Suddenly, the creature charged at the hikers, its horns gleaming in the firelight. The hikers scrambled to their feet and ran for their lives, trying to outpace the Goatman as it pursued them through the forest. They eventually stumbled upon a ranger station and were able to call for help. When authorities arrived, they searched the area but found no trace of the Goatman. The hikers never forgot their terrifying encounter and warned others to steer clear of the woods at night, lest they come face to face with the infamous Goatman. The next sighting of the Goatman took place in the desolate desert region of Arizona. A group of geologists had set out on an expedition to study the unique geological formations of the area. They camped in a remote area, miles away from any signs of civilization. As they settled into their tents for the night, they heard strange noises coming from the darkness outside. They dismissed it as just the sound of the desert night and tried to get some rest. But their sleep was soon interrupted by a loud banging on the outside of their tent. The geologists cautiously emerged from their tents, and what they saw left them frozen with fear. In front of them stood the Goatman, its tall, muscular figure looming over them. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly red light, and its horns shone in the moonlight. The creature let out a blood-curdling scream, causing the geologists to flee in terror. But the Goatman was not deterred. It chased after them, moving with an unnaturally fast speed across the rocky terrain. The geologists ran as fast as they could, but the Goatman was relentless. One by one, they were picked off by the creature. Their bodies were found scattered across the desert, their faces twisted in terror. Authorities were called in to investigate, but they could find no explanation for the strange deaths. The locals whispered about the legend of the Goatman, warning travelers to stay away from the remote desert regions of Arizona. The Goatman's reign of terror continued, striking fear into the hearts of those who dared to venture into the desert at night. The next sighting of the Goatman occurred in a small town in the heart of the Bible Belt. A group of devout Christians were gathered in their church for a prayer meeting, seeking spiritual guidance and comfort from their faith. But what they encountered that night was a far cry from the peace and solace they sought. As they prayed, they felt a sudden chill in the air. They looked up to see the Goatman standing at the back of the church, its glowing red eyes fixed on them. The congregation was horrified by the sight, for they knew the Goatman to be a harbinger of evil. The Goatman let out a blood-curdling scream, causing the churchgoers to fall to their knees in fear. The creature began to move towards them, its hooves clattering on the floorboards of the church. Suddenly, a man stepped forward, clutching a Bible in his hand. He began to recite a verse from the book of Psalms, calling upon the power of God to protect them from the evil that lurked in their midst. As the man spoke, a blinding light filled the church. The Goatman let out another scream, and then vanished into thin air. The churchgoers were left shaken but unharmed, saved by their faith and the power of the scriptures. The sighting of the Goatman in the small town became a legend, passed down from generation to generation. Some believed that the creature was a demonic entity, sent to test their faith and challenge their devotion to God. Others saw it as a reminder of the eternal struggle between good and evil, a warning to stay vigilant against the forces of darkness. Regardless of their interpretations, the Goatman remained a terrifying and mysterious figure, lurking in the shadows of their deepest fears. If you ever find yourself in the woods late at night, be sure to keep your wits about you and stay alert for any signs of the Goatman's presence.